I'd like to call this meeting of the Harriman City Council to order, June the 6th, 2023. Before we get started, we'll have a prayer by our Parks and Rec Director, Mr. Charlie Jones, followed by the pledge of allegiance to the flag. Mr. Jones.
Our Father, we just thank you, Lord, for this beautiful day. We just thank you for the opportunity to come and to do something we can do. I pray, Lord, that to help the city. I pray, Lord, you'll be at the councilman, the mayor, everybody's here, Lord, as we meet together, Lord, and give us the wisdom we need and to do the right thing. God, I pray, Lord, you'll be with us throughout the day. Lord, I ask these things in your precious name. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the roll, please.
Brian Frost.
Here.
Tim Johnson.
Here.
Alicia Harris. John Brackett.
Here.
Travis Kirkland.
Here.
Kenyon Me.
Here. I'd like to declare a quorum. Motion to approve the minutes of the May 16, 2023 meeting.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second.
Second.
Second by Councilman Frost. Councilman Johnson?
No, sir.
Councilman Frost?
No, sir.
Floor is open for discussion. Call the roll, please.
Brian Frost.
Yes.
Tim Johnson.
Yes.
John Brackett.
Yes.
Travis Kirkland.
Yes.
Kenyon Me.
Yes. Motion carries. Motion to pay the salaries.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Meade.
Second.
Second by Councilman Brackett. Councilman Meade.
No, sir.
Councilman Brackett.
No, sir.
Floor is open for discussion. Call the roll, please.
Brian Frost.
Yes.
Tim Johnson.
Yes.
John Brackett.
Yes.
Travis Kirkland.
Yes.
Kenyon Me.
Yes.
Motion carries. Motion to pay the bills. Motion. Motion by Councilman Kirkland.
I'll second.
Second by Councilman Johnson. Councilman Kirkland.
No, sir.
Councilman Johnson.
No, sir.
Floor is open for discussion. Call the roll.
Brian Frost.
Yes.
Tim Johnson.
Yes.
John Brackett.
Yes.
Travis Kirkland.
Yes.
Kenyon Me.
Yes.
Motion carries. This time we'll hear from delegation. If you'd like to come up and address this council, please come up to the podium, state your name, and limit your comments to 3 minutes.
Hi Council, I'm Barry Paulson, and I wanted to give you a debrief of the Tennessee Pirate Fest that happened the last 2 weekends in May, including Memorial Day. So the good thing is we're continuing to bring in tourists. If you count up all the people that have attended our 16 last shows, it adds up to 47,000 people, so that's good. Let's see, we want to thank the city for maintaining and widening the road. For Rome Tourism, they help towards our advertising budget. Rome County News is kind enough to print our updates, the different videographers and TV stations that allow us to come on. So the good news is the attendance was a little over than 3,059 with a 4% increase. We always hope for a bigger increase, but we'll take the 4% with modest records on 3 days. We keep hearing it's a high quality family show, and for anybody who came, we appreciate that. People came from 22 states, that's 44% of the U.S. As you would expect, most came from Tennessee and the most surrounding states, Kentucky, Georgia, North Carolina, Alabama. And within people that are from Tennessee, they came from 52 counties, that's over half the state. And as you would expect, most came from Knox County, Roane County, Anderson, Cumberland, and Blount County. So we're happy with that. And on the back of your recap, it's a letter from a family that comes to every single one of our shows on opening day, and they have a special needs daughter, and they specifically say things that she appreciated, and the loving atmosphere and all that. And one quote that I really appreciate was, "You don't have to change the world to change somebody's world." So I thought that was wonderful. So we're already getting ramped up for the 8th medieval fair that happens the first 3 weekends in October. So we're grateful for the support from the city. Any questions?
You have any questions?
I have a program here so you can see how big the show is, all the different stages, and then this is a matrix format. But if you come at 12, what can I see the different stages and all the different things going on? So
Sounds good.
thank you.
Thank you. This time we'll hear reports. Harriman Utility Board.
So last month I told you all about our broadband survey. That is As of just a couple hours ago, that's officially live. Customers can find the survey on our Facebook page. There'll also be emails going out tomorrow from the company. We've been working with EPB in Chattanooga to put this together, but they are partnering with Wilkins Research Company, and I believe that's who will be sending the emails. And there'll also be phone calls going out to make sure that we have enough responses to our survey, so that should take the next several weeks. I look forward to sharing those results with you all in the coming months. I just say, coming from our gas, water, and sewer department, the city's paving project went extremely well. Everything looks really good. Appreciate you all working with us. We made sure we were out of the way, and the paving contractor did well to work around us, and I really appreciate that. We've been working with the developer for the Hannah Farm this month, working with their engineer to help them finalize the water and sewer design. I know that's an item on your agenda tonight, so I won't say too much, but you might see us digging around that area, doing some exploratory digging in the coming days. Just know that we're trying to verify some existing field conditions out there. We're also searching for water leaks every day, so if you see an HEB person with a headset on walking around, he's probably looking for water leaks. We've got a full-time person doing that as of just a few months ago, and it's going extremely well. It's giving them a chance to also just to interact with some of our customers and explain to them the importance of doing that kind of work. So I just want to mention that tonight. I don't think I mentioned that in the past. Another kind of new thing I don't think I mentioned last month is that Harriman Utility Board and Rockwood Electric Utility are actually partnering together on an effort with TVA called Connected Communities. In the coming months, we'd like to pull together local stakeholders from the city and county governments to help guide our path forward in developing an innovative plan to improve the community. So hoping to utilize some potential grant money out there, but we first need to kind of develop a plan for that. And I'll also mention again this month, our AMI project, the meter replacement project, is going well. We're out every single day installing meters. We're going to be doing that for at least the next 12 months, I'm sure. As meters come in, we'll try to get them out as soon as we can. And we're getting shipments of about 1,500 at a time on the electric meters. That's good stuff. I don't know if this came across your inbox, but it's something that you should know about. We at Harriman Utility Board has issued a request for proposals for a solar farm. We're looking to partner with a solar developer, but we would have a purchase power agreement with them, so they would put out the solar, utility scale solar project across it's probably about a 40-acre site that they're looking for. It's a 3.2 megawatt site. We're hoping to find someone that's willing to do that in our area that we can buy electricity from at a little cheaper rate than we could buy with TVA. And so 3.2 is the limit that TVA allows us to do, and so we're trying to find a developer for that. It is a very interesting time to be doing that RFP, because there's a lot of grant money being announced or has been announced in the past several months to a year. So we're hoping, because this is a community that's impacted by coal, that maybe the developers would be able to get some extra tax incentives or grant funding for that. So I'll let you guys know that the deadline for the response is in August. We should know sometime this fall whether that's going to be a viable project for us or not. We're also out for bids right now on a water line replacement project funded by the 2021 CDBG funding, the Community Development Block Grant funding. If y'all remember, that one was on hold for such a long time while the government's grant system, their SAM.gov system was really backed up. So we finally got to move forward with that. We got our design all done, and now we're out for bid. So that'll replace water line along Snow Lane and Riggs Chapel. That's one of the worst areas in our entire water system for leaks. And then I'll mention that we'll soon be out for bids to spend all the ARPA and ARC funds that we've received. So all together, later this year, we should be under contract to complete several $1 million worth of water and sewer line projects. And I just want to mention, because it's just such a weird time, this is a historic opportunity. There'll never be grants of this level for water and sewer, and I don't think in our lifetime. It's such a strange time. So I want to mention it once more time. Thank you, City of Harriman, Roane County, Oakdale, Morgan County, because they all partnered with us on this ARPA funding specifically, and I know you all provided matching funds for both that and the ARC funds, so appreciate that. And then I failed to mention last month, so please look this up if you're not aware, but TVA did issue a notice asking for public comments on the Kingston fossil plant, and I think it's really important that that we as a utility will be responding to that. I think it's important for the city to respond, and also members of the public. It's a big deal. That's all I got.
Thank you. Anybody have anything for Candace? Thank you, ma'am. Moving on our agenda, Harriman Housing Authority. Well, it used to be on there, and then COVID kind of pushed us backwards a little bit.
I know, I said, I've not been here since COVID happened, and I'm sorry to say I guess I'll update you a little bit about what we've done since then. Just kind of got out of the swing of things after that happened because the meetings were virtual, but since COVID, we have done some updates to some of our properties. We've had new windows put in all the units at Fisk. We also have done new HVAC units to make those a lot better for the residents, and also more energy efficient in Rolling Acres and also in the downtown properties. Of course, most of you know by now, because we've been in it for a few months, that we've done the renovation to the downstairs portion of the office, which was the old HEB building, and so we are occupying the downstairs portion of that. I don't know, we don't have in the near future when we'll do the second phase of our renovation for the upstairs portion of that, but hopefully it won't be a really long time. Also, we are right now in the process of going through a new HUD inspection grading system that they are mandating, so we're transferring over to that. So we're in the process of trying to put in for a grant to help absorb some of the costs for some of the upgrades that we'll be doing. Some of the upgrades that we'll be doing, one of the major expense, which is like a health and safety, would be to put the smoke detectors in all the bedrooms of every single unit. We of course have smoke detectors in all the units, but there's just one in every hallway. But for the most part, that's what we're working on at the moment. And also, I wanted to tell you all, I hope it's not out of the realm of what I should be talking about, but a lot of you all have reached out to me in the last few months with with the loss of my mom and my son, and helped look and all that, and I just wanted to thank you all for everything that you all have done. I've had a lot of phone calls, a lot of prayers, and I just really wanted to say that I feel blessed to be a part of this community, and also the Morgan County. We've just overwhelmed with people that have reached out to us. So, do you have any questions for me?
Do you have any questions?
The only thing the smoke detectors you're going to do, are they just going to be just regular, just
No, they are mandated.
Not be hardwired?
Yes, they'll be mandated to be a certain kind, and they'll also be hardwired with the battery backup.
Kind of figured that.
Yeah, and that's why we're trying to get the grant, because it'll be something that will have to be contracted out. We don't really have the manpower to do that. So, with all the work orders and stuff going on as well, so.
Yeah, that's great. You're on top of it. Good deal. Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that. I actually brought and gave to Scott Mason today. We are donating 2 of our trucks that we actually just don't use them anymore. They're 2 of the 2008 F-150s, and so we've donated those to the city, and in return, they've said that they would be willing to help us with their backhoe, mashing our dumpster down, and helping us with the bucket truck, because we do have those safety cameras that we have to move sometimes from one property to the other, but transferring those by ladder for Jason and them, and trying to hold them and everything to plug them in is a task. So we appreciate that too.
Well, we appreciate the trucks. We was in bad need for a animal control truck and another truck, either for Scott to run around on his planning thing or the rec department.
saw how nice they were, that's what I said.
But we appreciate you all are always gracious to give us what you all are no longer using, and we really appreciate that.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
City Treasurer, Mr. Rudder.
Thank you, Mayor. Council members, you have in front of you your executive summary for the month. We still are posting increases in sales tax. You know, you heard from me throughout the course of this fiscal year that things are going very well, and we continue to have growing sales tax rates year over year for each month. But I would like to point out that I have noticed a trend over the past 3 months, and that is declining growth. And while that's nothing to be alarmed about, I think that it is probably an indicator of things to come. I think throughout the next fiscal year, we're probably going to see some declines in our certainly in the growth prospects, but probably in some of the receipts for local option sales tax. But that could be offset, of course, by population increase. If we were to have a development come in, or there were to be several house sales come through, for example, or renovations of houses that are not occupied, the more population we have, the more sales tax we get. So that could be offset. I just want to bring it to everyone's attention that we are starting to see a little fall off in that, and that's expected. We can't expect constant growth, linear growth like that in sales tax. That's not going to happen. But that's all I have for you right now. And Scott and I are working really hard to get the budget ready to go for the final vote of the year, which we're hoping we can get in by June 30th. So I appreciate all the council members, Mayor, your all's input on that process. That has been incredibly beneficial, and we're still optimistic about that June 30 timeframe. I'd like to answer any questions if you have any.
Any questions? Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
City Attorney. All right. We have, over the past month, been doing some title research and some deed work on the Duncan Kirkham property, and it's transferred to the city. That's the property that is the pond that's behind Lowe's. We've been working on drafting a lease agreement with Barnhart for the river property. Barnhart is to use the property for storage of materials floating on barges down the river, I believe. We have some slum ordinance cases. Actually, there are 7 or 8 cases in Chancery Court now. Now they're in Circuit Court because Chancellor McFarland has recused himself, so they're before Judge Pemberton. We went to court last week on these, and we're going to be conferring with Scott Mason on our next steps as to these properties, and whether a dismissal is in order, or there's a motion for default that's in order, or for further action, whatever it is that's required, we will do that. These cases also relate to the property liens that we have filed for the city in January. And the city recently, over the past few weeks, I think, received a payment of $5,500 on one of the properties. And so you remember we discussed that a few months ago, that's kind of the process. And so we were able to recoup that. We've been working on drafting some other deeds as well, Woody Avenue deed to the IDB, for example, doing various and sundry other things, including responding to questions with the staff and on city issues. And last but not least, I have a special guest with me tonight. Cameron Kirkland is here. Cameron, he is, his family's been in Rome County for a long, long time. My dad was actually a CPA and used to do the taxes for Cameron's granddad, Vernal Kirkland, way back when. And we're lucky enough to have Cameron as a law clerk for our firm this summer. So this is his first city council meeting. Well, I said, you might as well cut your teeth on the city of Harriman, because we're here. And I think he knows several of the folks here tonight. So we're glad to have him with us, and glad to have him all summer. He just completed his first year, so good. Welcome. That's it for us.
Glad to have you.
Thank you.
Any questions for the city attorney? Thanks, sir. Okay. Mr. Mason?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, members of the City Council. I want to update you on a couple things with our streets and our projects that are going on right now. Pansy Hill Bridge, I was in touch with TDOT this past week. Currently waiting railroad agreement approval from the local programs office in order to schedule the letting, and that's the repair of the Pansy Hill Bridge. Also, the Harriman signal timing and equipment upgrades. That was the one that started in 2017. They had to do the QHP. That's been completed and submitted to TDOT. And again, that's updating all of our traffic signal exchanges all around town. So, also, thanks, to explain to the mayor earlier today, I met with him just briefly. I talked to Jeremy with Wiser, and he's the one that came down and a couple of times on our sidewalk project and presented to council and trying to give us an update. That was the one that they did the plans, and then they neglected to put the street lights and a conduit in there. So they had to go back. Of course, the council, we rejected that, and it's gone back. The final plans have been submitted to TDOT, and we're just waiting on final approval, and I just impressed him. We've got to get this project done. Again, that's from Crescent to Georgia, our new sidewalks and street lights, by the end of March, because that is when they will determine the schedule when Rome Street gets paved. So continue to try and just keep my thumb on that project right there and hopefully move that along. The next step, as soon as we get TDOT approval, will be to go ahead and bid that out, bring it before council, accept the bids, and hopefully get that rolling late summer, early fall. Paving, I did send an email out, was completed this past week. They came in and painted some lines. Came in under our bid price. Very pleased with the paving. They did a good job, and you have a list of those streets, but if you get a chance to get out and they did a really good job, and Drac and I are working now on the schedule for next year on those next streets to be paved. From Parks and Rec, this coming Saturday is a big day for our golf course. It's the oldest public golf course in the state of Tennessee, and they're going to have their 100-year golf tournament celebration. Of course, everybody here is invited. That's going to start at 8:15 in the morning, and we'll go with a short tournament. Then we'll have lunch for everybody, and then a celebration after lunch. It'll include bands at 2 o'clock and at 4 o'clock, and we'll go till 6. Isn't that right, Charlie? Okay. Our Dixie Youth All-Stars will begin their tournament play on June the 8th. And then on Saturday, June 17th at Fred Davis Triangle Park, they'll have a Juneteenth celebration. And there's a lot more to add to that, but just what's coming up recently, unless you got anything else you want to add, Charlie.
No, that's good, thank you.
Okay. Got Tammy here in the library, and a very good update with that. And again, this will be included in the addition of the direction that I'll send you tomorrow. But they have finished, as of today, I think, right, Tammy? Finished painting the children's library portion of the library. So Mr. Goldschmidt had come in, he repaired all the plaster and repainted that project. Finished today. If you've not had a chance to go in there and look at it, it looks fantastic. The entire staff at the library is undergoing their Title VI training, which Keith and I can tell you is very enjoyable, and but that's something that's required on an annual basis. They applied for the TSLA Tech Grant, and that should be completed and submitted by the end of the week. And if that's received, it's going to be used to replace 3 of their oldest computers. Tammy and her staff continue to work on the data survey report. That's another annual state requirement. It's due on July the 7th of this year. Something I did not know that we offered is the Adult Summer Reading Program. That's going to be offered to all adults beginning in July, and books are being continued to be delivered to our homebound patrons. We talked about that, I think, last month, and that's a really good service that our library offers. The state IT techs are scheduled to put Verso in at our library, and that's a library automation system, and they'll install that onto their laptops. And it doesn't sound like much, but each of those will come with a scanner, and what it'll allow our library to do and their staff is to finally do a full inventory of everything that's in that library. So that will be coming up when I talk with Tammy, probably late summer, early fall, I think. Children's Library, they are getting geared up for the summer reading program, and it is called All Together Now. They've had over 69 children enroll. The Creative Discovery Museum in Chattanooga has donated 100 tickets. Prizes will be awarded each week to the summer reading contest contestants or participants. They'll have winners as long as that child is reading and meeting his or her reading goals. So that continues all summer. We'll send you out another slate of events when that goes. Takes place every day at the library, but that's really something fun and exciting to see. A lot of good times to be had when that's going on. Flat Stanley, which we showed you a picture of him, that was very popular in the winter. Flat Stanley is continuing to roam around the world. He's been to England and Japan, and they've got a bulletin board set up over there. So Flat Stanley is one of the books these kids read, and they've got a Flat Stanley. It's like a little cardboard cutout, and so everywhere they go on their trips, they take pictures with Flat Stanley. So just shows the impact that our library has on all ages. And I think the last thing that Connie wanted me to tell you is she did make a presentation at Bowers Elementary where the students learned a history lesson by Andrew Carnegie. And she also told them more about the summer reading program and taught a game about kindness. So our library continues to impact lives every single day in a good way. Tammy, you got anything else we need to add to that? On our events, this past Saturday we had the community-wide yard sale. Very widely enjoyed. I think we had probably more people involved in the community than we've had in the past. So had great weather for it. June 8th, and I've got a slide I'll show you right here in a second, we'll start our rocking chair competition. I'll tell you a little more about that in just a second. This Friday night, if you don't have plans, Rockin' on Roan in Mayor's Alley, High Carbon Steel will be here. They're a bluegrass band, and we'll have 3 food trucks. So if you don't have plans, that's going to start at 6 o'clock, right, Martha? And take place right back here in Mayor's Alley. Kudos to Councilman and Vice Mayor Tim Johnson. He represented the city Saturday night at the Free Medical Clinic. He didn't come out on top, but he did a really good job representing the city. And was it Foreigner you saying?
Yeah.
Vice Mayor Foreigner. But no, he did a really good job, so I wanted to thank him for that. Also check our social media. A lot of our local churches have vacation Bible schools starting in the month of June, so you can certainly see that on social media. Some special things really coming up. Saturday, June the 10th, 6x10, and what that is, that's 6 performances, and they only last 10 minutes each. It's going to take place at the Princess Theater, and that's part of the Roane County Children's Theater that we were able to start 2 years ago. That'll start at 7 o'clock again on Saturday, June 10th. Also this Sunday, it is Sunday in the Park, SUNDAE, and Cornstalk Heights is going to have live music, ice cream and social, featuring the Babahatchee Band with 2 featured guest conductors. It's a family event, admission is free, ice cream, so if you don't have plans on Sunday afternoon, 3 o'clock at Killerford Park. And then later this month, I've got a slide for this, is our Temperance Building social and fundraiser. Finally, as Chris mentioned, we are very close. We put in a lot of work trying to get this budget passed quicker than it's been done in a long time, and we'll certainly can talk about that when we want to have the second reading. Also wanted you to know we're missing Councilwoman Harris. I think she's watching live tonight. She went through her medical procedure very well. She was released from the hospital today. She's with us live on the internet or on Facebook, but should be back up full speed hopefully by the mid to end of this week. I wanted to thank especially Amy and Candace. Candace and HUB, the City of Harriman, had our monthly meeting a couple of Fridays ago, talked about some important issues. So working with Candace and Amy, I think is going really well. Just keeping in tune with what both departments are doing, all three departments. And Candace sent an email to me today just updating on the water line project out there, and I told her she's going to have to explain it to me in layman's terms, but I appreciate her keeping me in the loop on that. And kudos to having Cameron Kirkland. He could not wait to be at the Harriman City Hall meeting tonight, he told me. But just some of the pictures, I want to show you some things that have gone on the last couple of weeks. This was when I had our Wee Ball party. Of course, we got one of the teams right here, and it was just a great time to be had by all. Just a great time for celebration, celebrating those young lives. We told you that our chief, Baron Tapp, went to the FBI Academy in Washington, D.C. He came back after spending a week up there. He successfully graduated. That's the picture on the right there, but he and I sat down, and He talked about how much that really helped him with some of his leadership and management techniques. He's already put some of those in practice, so certainly proud of Chief Tapp. These are some pictures I took earlier in the week from our dock. As you remember, they had to pour the concrete abutments, then they had to come in and weld for lack of a better term, the things on the front that are going to help anchor the dock.
Pylons?
Pylons?
Yes. Talked with Rick Owens with the company just before council meeting started. They expect to finish the gangway, which is going to be the ADA compliant walkway down to the dock tomorrow. And I said, we're going to be on live TV when I announce this, Rick. He said, go ahead. They hope to float the dock in place on Friday. I don't know if it'll be completed by then or not, but I know Councilman Johnson's been there checking over and checking off all the work that's gone on down there with the dock. So hopefully we'll see a big change down there by the end of the week. Charlie and the crew have been busy putting up. This is something we talked about, doing some grills in different, some of our different parks. They put those in this week, still have to put a base around it, but I think it'll be something good as people use our parks, be able to go down there and eat and cook out. I gave each of y'all an example over here. This is something we started last summer and we're going to continue. A lot of times Jimmy, our codes guy, he pulls up and he puts a door hanger on there. It's not necessarily good news. So what we started doing last summer, people that have really taken pride in their yard and it reflects in the city of Harriman. What we do is we'll go up and just drop those on their door handle and thank them for keeping their yard in good shape and hopefully spread some pride. Last week we had Richard Albright here from TCRS and we met with all our departments and our employees. He came in on Wednesday and spent great detail in talking about how TCRS, whether we're on legacy or hybrid retirement plan, and how it best works. We've got some employees just starting out, why it's so important to be involved, and we've got some nearing the end of their tenure. So it's well received. We appreciate Richard being here, and then he's going to meet the 7th, the 8th, and I think the 9th. He'll come down and meet with either our employees individually to go over their plans and help them to better understand their retirement plan through TCRS. John mentioned that we met out, I think, last Friday at the paper mill site. We've had a group interested in possibly leasing that paper mill site for 6 months to possibly 12, maybe in 18 months. And that involves the transition, should it take place, of the Kingston fossil plant into a natural gas. If that takes place, possibly one of the sites they'd like to look at would be the paper mill site. And they would bring equipment for the transition and store it on the paper mill site, and when it's ready to be used, they put it back on the barges and take it back down to Kingston. Still a long way away. Like I said, John and Gavin and Cameron are involved in that to work up some type of lease agreement, and certainly the thing I wanted was, if this plan comes to fruition, we want this site to be much better for our public to use when they finish. And so we're talking about that, widening that boat ramp. Tim was down, Councilman Johnson was down there that day and just talked about some things we'd like to see if we can make this plan work. So as it progresses, I'll keep y'all in the loop with that as well. This week started our kids camp, and that's a joint effort between our fire department and our police department. I think they've got close to 35 kids enrolled, and so they come in the morning. Today they're going through the obstacle course, and that's what some of these pictures are here. We've got our fire department. I can't tell you exactly what they were doing, but they ran the obstacle course and they had a great time, and we provide lunch for them, and they leave at 2 o'clock every day. So that's what some of these next slides are here. This all took place at Riverfront Park today. Some of the events coming up, we have the Temperance Party and Preview and Party Tour. That's on Saturday, June 23rd. That's to benefit the renovation and bringing back to life our Temperance building. So it should be a really good night. We've got that on our website now. And then we have our Sunday in the Park in the upper right-hand corner, and then, of course, our 6x10 Children's Theater. And I showed you these. And you'll also see these on our new website. This is our rocking chair competition, brainchild of Martha, and we talked about it this winter. And basically what it is, we had 20 rocking chairs, and we accepted entries for art on anyone that would like to decorate a rocking chair. I think we had over 40 entries, Martha, and we had to narrow it down to 20. So what we did yesterday and today, we placed all these rocking chairs at various businesses in our downtown area. And starting on June the 8th, you can go in these businesses and they have the artist's name on each chair, but they also have a barcode, a QR code, and you can scan it with your phone, which will take you to our website, and you can vote for your favorite rocking chair. If you don't have time to go to all those businesses, you also go to the website and vote. We'll vote all summer, and the winner will be announced at Hooray for Harriman. When we display the chairs for the final time, what we'll do is have a silent auction. All the proceeds will go to expand the rocking chair program and include more businesses. So certainly take time and visit our downtown businesses, all of our businesses, but also support our local artists. And we want to be very thankful to our businesses that did volunteer to display these rocking chairs, and that's what we have down here on the right. But really fantastic, and we've had these stored in the hall about the past month as they've trickled in, and Teresa made the comment she hated to see them leave because it was just so nice to come in every day and look at them. This example, I wasn't aware of this, we have a device that we can use throughout the city that will detect traffic and speed and anywhere we think we might have an issue. So what it is this is the printout that we get. So for 1 week we took it and set it out on one road, and you can see they had over 1,239 vehicles. The speed limit was set at 35 miles an hour. The average speed on this street, which we thought we might have a problem, was 22 miles an hour. The fastest speed during that week was 44 miles an hour. So we can use this data to put in different areas across the city to determine if we need to take further steps. What I've got here, if you've not had a chance, our new website has gone live. Now, we've not really publicized it. If you can remember in our last few meetings, we wanted to start our website really small and make it really usable for people coming into town, people that live here. So this is what it looks like here. And we're really excited about it. One thing we've asked the public to do, there's a feedback form on there. If there's something you would like to see, and there's a lot of things, Martha and I have been working on it, trying to bring it up to speed and add more items that will be more beneficial to more people in our town. But we've got a feedback form. If there's things that you would like to see, put that on there, and then we will start working with Matt Hill and make that a reality. We also have a button online that we will start, and I think this was Teresa's idea, after our council meeting, we'll start putting all of our council meetings online and start a library of that. So anybody that misses, they can't see it live on Facebook, you can thank Teresa, because we'll start the library on our website. And that's it from our report this evening, unless you have questions.
Any questions? All right, good report. Thanks, sir.
Thanks, Mayor.
Thanks, Scott.
This time we'll go into our agenda. New businesses. The first time discussing possibly approve the Roane County interlocal agreement. Scott, do you want to come back up and help us now, please?
Yeah, this is a interlocal cooperation agreement that was provided to the Roane County government. We've talked about this several times over the past few months. This would be the combined effort of Roane County government along with the city of Harriman, city of Kingston, and the city of Olive Springs to all pitch in and fund the planning meetings that we have each month, and that employee would be hired by Roane County government, which I think would be Glenn Kofer, is what we've talked about. If you recall, in the past couple of years, we've used East Tennessee Development District. So if this agreement is passed, it would be all of us working together. We would, Glenn would, or that planning person, if it happens to be somebody other than Glenn, would still attend all of our planning commissions, but would be a combined effort of everybody in the city. The county is paying 60% of this person's salary, and each of the participating municipalities are paying 40%. So this agreement here is just that we would enter that with the other cities and Roane County government.
Everybody should have that agreement in your packet. I hope you've read over and looked at it to see exactly what it says. I think as far as funding, it's just a tad bit more than what we've been paying, but it gives us that local person. Sometimes we may only see our planner once a month. With this, we can see our planner about any time we want to. So it will change some of that stuff. And I hope there's a lot of new development going to be going on in Harriman over the next year, so this person's going to be very vital in what we do and how we do it.
And attached at the end of that interlocal cooperation agreement is the request by East Tennessee Development District, if we choose to renew the contract with them, the cost that would be. But approximately, if we go with the Rome County option, it'd be about $2,000 more a year.
Scott, do we need to, let me get this done, then I want to ask a question. A motion to approve this interlocal agreement.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson. Second by Councilman Frost. Councilman Johnson.
No, sir.
Councilman Frost. No, sir. Floor is open for discussion. In this discussion, do we have to approve not signing an agreement with East Tennessee Development District? Do we have to approve that, or is that if we just don't sign it, it doesn't go in effect?
The way I understand it, I think East Tennessee Development District required a 30-day notification. I've discussed in previous council meetings some of the issues we've had worked through. So I did inform East Tennessee Development District in January. We may look at making a change when we had heard this might be a possibility. Of course, when the new lady came on with East Tennessee Development, when was that? Keegan, was that in the month of March, maybe? March. I also told Tracy the exact same thing, that we weren't quite ready to sign an agreement with East Tennessee Development District. So we have informed them verbally.
I'm still wondering, would it take a vote from this council, since this council voted to go into an agreement with them, to break that agreement? Because I think this interlocal, the agreement we have with them just rolls if we don't do something. I know you've told them. Let me ask the term.
Automatic renewal?
Yes.
So it's on an automatic renewal. I think then we would want to have a motion to discontinue, to terminate that contract. Go ahead and provide them with legal notice and terminate it. That way it's not going to automatically renew.
And I think Scott has told them it won't automatically renew this time, but I think if we don't do anything, it just automatically goes back in, doesn't it?
Yes, they requested to have some type of feedback, either for or against, by June 15th.
Okay. So what I will do, if it's okay with council, is at the end of this, maybe waive the agenda rule to approve that, to not do that anymore. Okay, have a motion and a second. Any other discussions on this here? Call roll, please.
Brian Frost.
Yes.
Tim Johnson.
Yes.
John Brackett.
Yes.
Travis Kirkland.
Yes.
Kenny Me.
Yes.
Motion carries. All right, thanks, sir. Next item, discuss and possibly approve an appointment to the Parks and Recreation Committee. I'd like to ask council to approve Sonia Estridge to be on our Parks and Rec Committee. I don't have to tell you who Sonia is. Everybody knows her. Her and Joe has always been instrumental in the city, whether it be Parks and Rec, whatever it may be. And they've always been willing to help, and I think it'd be great to have Sonia on there. I think she'll have some great ideas, and maybe she'll keep Charlie in line. I don't know. But motion to approve.
Motion. I'll second that.
Motion by Councilman Kirkland, second by Councilman Brackett. Councilman Kirkland.
Yes, sir.
Councilman Brackett. Floor is open for discussion. Call roll, please.
Brian Frost.
Yes.
Tim Johnson.
Yes.
John Brackett.
Yes.
Travis Kirkland.
Yes, sir.
Kenny Me.
Yes.
Sorry. My apologies. Sorry.
Motion carries. Glad to have you. Thanks for serving. Next item, discuss and possibly approve a matching allocation of maximum of $125,000 in ARPA funds to HUB. As Candace said a while ago, their board has approved, HUB's board has approved the same allocation to match us to put a sewer pump station in out at the Hannah Farm for the development. Without the pump station, there won't be any sewer out there, there won't be no development. We still have money in our ARPA fund that we have not allocated, so we don't want to miss the boat on this 135 homes. So I hope that we'll do everything we can to help HUB and the city to make this happen. So that's what this is about. Motion to approve.
Motion.
Second by Councilman Frost, second by Councilman Johnson. Councilman Frost.
No, sir.
Councilman Johnson.
No, sir.
Floor is open for discussion. Call the roll, please.
Brian Frost.
Yes.
Tim Johnson.
Yes.
John Brackett.
Yes.
Travis Kirkland.
Yes.
Kenyon Me.
Yes.
Motion carries. Next item, discuss and possibly approve demolition of cleanup of structure 802 Virginia Street. Low bid on that one was to Hedricks at $9,449. Motion to approve.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Frost,
Second.
second by Councilman Kirkland. Councilman Frost.
No, sir.
Councilman Kirkland. No, sir. Floor is open for discussion. Call the roll, please.
Brian Frost.
Yes.
Tim Johnson.
Yes.
John Brackett. Travis Kirkland.
Yes, ma'am.
Kenyon Me.
Yes.
Motion carries. Next item, discuss and possibly approve demolition and cleanup of structure at 631 Salure Street. Low bid on it was C&K Construction at $5,325. Motion to approve. Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Frost. Councilman Johnson. No, sir. Councilman Frost.
No, sir.
Floor is open for discussion. Call the roll, please.
Brian Frost.
Yes.
Tim Johnson.
Yes.
John Brackett.
Yes.
Travis Kirkland.
Yes, ma'am.
Kenyon Me.
Yes.
Motion carries. Next item, discuss and possibly approve demolition and cleanup of structure at 415 Clinton Street, C&K Construction, $22,400. And before you make a motion, let me tell you real quick, when I seen that number, I thought, what in the world? But it is a house that sits right up here, and it's about this far from the houses beside of it. It's got to be hand tore down. They can't get equipment in it because it is so close to the structure beside of it. It's a house that's been burnt for a long time. You can see it from standing out in the parking lot there. So that's why that price is where it's at.
I'll make a motion for that.
Motion by Councilman Brackett, second.
Second.
Second by Councilman Johnson. Councilman Brackett.
No, sir.
Councilman Johnson. No, sir. Floor is open for discussion. Call the roll.
Brian Frost.
Yes.
Tim Johnson.
Yes.
John Brackett.
Yes.
Travis Kirkland.
Yes.
Kenyon Me.
Yes.
Motion carries, and just to say real quick on that, we just tore down 3 houses in Harriman. We need those 135 houses because we're tearing down and we're not building back, so we need to get those back on the books as quick as we can. Next item, discuss and possibly approve surplus of a 2000 Kawasaki ATV, VIN number JK8814YB509527. We've had that, I think, in storage out at the Parks and Rec building for I don't know how many years. We haven't used it, so we're trying to get rid of it. Motion to approve the surplus.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Kirkland. Second.
I'll second it.
Second by Councilman Frost. Councilman Kirkland.
No, sir.
Councilman,
No, sir.
floor's open. Well, I was waiting on him to say yes ma'am to me, and I didn't. Floor's open for discussion. Call the roll.
Brian Frost.
Yes.
Tim Johnson.
Yes.
John Brackett.
Yes.
Travis Kirkland.
Yes.
Kenyon Me.
Motion carries. Motion to waive the agenda rule to talk about the East Tennessee Development District. I'll make a motion. Motion by Councilman Johnson, second.
I'll second.
Second by Councilman Brackett. All in favor, aye. Any opposed, like sign. All right. This is basically to eliminate the contract effective. What date are we effective? 30 days after today, or?
I would think it would be 30 days from the vote, from the council vote.
Okay. This will go in effective 30 days after tonight's vote. 30 days after tomorrow, because you're going to give them the notice tomorrow. 30 days after tomorrow. Motion to approve? Motion by Councilman Johnson, second.
Second.
Second by Councilman Kirkland. Councilman Johnson.
No, sir.
Councilman Kirkland.
No, sir.
Floor is open for discussion. Call the roll, please.
Brian Frost.
Yes.
Tim Johnson.
Yes.
John Brackett.
Yes.
Travis Kirkland.
Yes, ma'am.
And Kenyon Me.
Yes.
Motion carries. That's all we have on the agenda. We'll get council remarks. Councilman Kirkland.
No, sir.
Councilman Frost.
No, sir.
Councilman Johnson. No, sir.
No, sir.
Councilman Brackett. Councilman Meade.
Sir.
The only thing I got is, if you haven't, please get with Scott or with the city treasurer to look at the budget. It's amazing. I look back, I got on council in 1999, and I know we've been here for a while, you don't want to hear this, but I came on council in 1999. When I came on council, we was operating kind of in the red. If you don't know what that means is we didn't have enough money to pay bills, so we'd have to borrow until we got our taxes in to make sure. Kenyon may have been there during some of that time. It's amazing how far that the city of Harriman has came since those times. Now when I look at the budget, I'm thinking, what happened? And a lot of it has to do with Midtown and the growth down there. And I think that if you guys will be watching, there'll be a lot more coming to Midtown. I think we're working on something right now that will, I heard numbers this week of what it will bring in tax revenue, and it was way bigger than what I thought it was going to be. But with that will come challenges of traffic, challenges of how we do things. But I want to say to you all, thank you for the leadership that you give. It's because of the leadership that we do grow, and we work together. We want to thank everybody that works with us, Harriman Housing, HEB, everybody that's a part of this. It makes us all to be one team, and that's what we are. So I really appreciate it. It's an honor to still be your mayor and to work with such a great group of people. So thank you for giving me that privilege, and thank you guys for always being supportive. That's all I have. Motion to adjourn, and we're going to a workshop.
Motion. Second.
Motion by Councilman Frost, second by Councilman Johnson. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed, like sign.